Hello and welcome to Yoga by Nature podcast. And so the following is a Yoga Nidra practice that I recorded at a live Zoom class last week. And I wanted to share it with you because it's a little bit special, it's a little bit different. So it's a Yoga Nidra on the breath. And so discovering the nature of the breath, discovering the mind-body connection through the breath, and looking at different ways of experiencing the breath. And we set up for the Yoga Nidra with a body scan on the breath. So you're getting very intimate, very close to the breath and very relaxed before we lead into Yoga Nidra. And so it's a really full practice, and we give it lots of time to really settle and really open and go deeper. So I really hope you enjoy it. Come to the practice ready to set up for it's sort of a pranayama setup where you're either propped up on a bolster or you're lying over a rolled blanket. I'll explain in more detail later during the main podcast. So I really hope this comes to you as it is intended, as a way to relax, as a way to deepen your yoga practice, as a way to just be with yourself in a really positive and healing way. And just a little bit of news from me as well. I'm booking at the moment for the teacher training course. I'm doing a 200-hour teacher training course, which starts in November. So taking bookings now. So if you are ready to take it to the next level, if you've been doing yoga for a while, you're interested in becoming a teacher, or you just want to deepen your practice and learn more about the broader context of yoga, then I'd be really happy to talk to you about your options. If you want to drop me a line and we can arrange to have a chat. And there's lots of great workshops coming up in the summer, so keep an eye on the website for things that are coming up. You can also find me on Instagram at Yoga by Nature UK, and so I'm always posting what's new on there as well, and all my other stuff too. So if I don't see you on social media, we're still connecting in a very meaningful way and sharing this yoga community that we have online together. And I'm really grateful for you being here. This goes out from me to you with lots of love, as always. If you have any comments or questions, then don't hesitate to drop me a line. It's info@yogabynature.org, and you can visit the website also at yogabynature.org. Enjoy your practice. Namaste. Guide yourself to come down and rest gently on your back. And we're going to do a body scan on the breath. So if you have props available that you can use to open yourself up to your breath, and that might be a rolled up blanket, or it might be a bolster. The blanket could go underneath you. And if you have a bolster at home, then you might want to make a ramp by propping the bolster up onto a brick. And both of these, the rolled up blanket and the bolster, are really nice ways to open up to the breath. They're slightly different. So with the bolster, you just sit up, so the tailbone sits up by the short end of the bolster, and then you lie back. Just making sure you can give the full weight into the bolster. If you feel like you're holding back, then just make sure that your blocks are really steady and you're not going to fall over. And have the arms quite wide if you're comfortable to do that, so that the chest can open. Let the shoulder blades slide down the back. And get yourself settled. Do whatever you want to with your legs. They could be straight, they could be bent. You might want to do a hip opener here with the soles of the feet together and the knees wide, Baddha Konasana. Or you might want to cross your legs. So just take a moment to soften. Imagine yourself like a butterfly. Your body is your wings that are spreading out from the center, just letting everything soften out away from the center, the front of the body and the back of the body, sort of broadening out from the midline out to the peripheries. Like your torso and your arms are the upper part of your wings, and the legs are the lower part of the wings. And this is a pose that gives optimum breadth and space for the whole of the diameter of the diaphragm. So let's just bring the awareness to the diaphragm for a moment. Just feeling into the circumference of the diaphragm around the mid-torso. And just let the body broaden. The day tends to contract us. Gravity contracts us. We shrink a little bit into gravity from the beginning of the day to the end. And also just what we have to do every day contracts us, makes us feel braced against what's next. So just let it all unravel now. And then when you feel as though you're really fully settled in the pose, then bring your awareness to the breath in the nostrils. So if you bring your awareness to the very, very tips of the nostrils, and just see if you can feel the very first touch of breath on the skin of the nostrils. And it might take a little time, a few breaths to really feel that. The slightly cooler air touching the skin of the outer nostril. I did a meditation course once where I spent about 3 days on this, but we're not going to put that much time into it today. A minute or so. And then follow the breath from the very tips of the nostrils along the skin of the nostrils. Notice the sensation of breath on the skin of the nostrils. And then follow the breath all the way into the nasal cavity, concha of the nose. It's quite spacious behind the nose. So 3 little cavernous spaces there behind the nose. If you begin a very gentle Ujjayi breath now, you may feel a sense of the vibration of the breath in the cavity behind the nose. You might feel sensation elsewhere as well if you're tuned into it. Sometimes I get little sort of currents of sensation moving up to the crown with Ujjayi breath. It sort of tickles the sinuses a little bit. And then move the awareness into the throat. Notice the breath in the throat. Let go of your Ujjayi breath now so the throat can relax. And just make sure that the tongue's resting down on the floor of the mouth. And for the tongue to fully rest down, the jaw needs to relax. Let the jowls drop. And just keep following the breath down the throat. Maybe a sensation of temperature with the breath in the throat. Warmth of the inhale, warmth of the exhale, cooling of the inhale. And then notice the breath in the chest, the breastbone. Keeping your awareness very light and very gentle. You might feel a sensation of temperature of the breath in the chest. Most likely you'll feel a movement. What movement can you feel? Can you feel a movement in the back of the body? Can you feel a movement in the shoulder joint as the breath makes space, not just in the lungs? Echoes of the breath can be felt in many places. And then following the breath down into the abdomen. And as the diaphragm rises and falls, the abdominal organs are slightly rearranged with every breath. So the belly rises, usually on the inhale, and then softens on the exhale. And it's very gentle, like a blossoming of the belly as it feels like it's expanding on the inhale. Gently subsiding on the exhale. And there's no effort, no muscular effort. The only effort is your concentration, your awareness, observing this ocean swell of the breath. Maybe there are echoes of the breath in the back, in the kidneys, in the sacrum. Most of the sort of interesting sensation tends to happen on the inhale. Let's not forget the exhale. Just make sure that you're allowing the exhale to complete. And then even perhaps pausing a little bit at the end of the exhale before the inhale arrives. It might just be a split second of a pause, or you might find that it's longer for you. And then move the awareness to the pelvic floor. Again, keeping the awareness very light, very sweet, full of compassion. And just notice if there's any movement of the pelvic floor as you breathe. If you let the pelvic floor relax, notice any tendency to grip there. And see if the base of the body there is moving as you breathe. Perhaps a dilation of the pelvic floor with the inhale and a slight condensing of the area with the exhale. So just this very simple breath is increasing circulation, blood flow, keeping the tissues supple. They say where there is breath, there is blood. And blood means life, nutrition. And now become aware of the whole body. Become aware of your skin, this whole covering of the body, this organ that we call the skin. And imagine that you can breathe with your skin. This organ that unifies all these different bits of us. Holds everything together and helps us experience the body as one whole, organic, dynamic entity not a collection of different bits and pieces. Imagine you can breathe with your skin. And as you exhale through every pore of the body. Accept the welcome from the ground beneath you. This invitation to let go, to soften, to disarm. Accept this welcome from the space around you to just take up as much space as you want to, as the body wants to. So perhaps ask the body how much space it wants and move into that space. Many of us are afraid of taking up too much space for one reason or another. So explore that. How much space do you want? There's plenty of space around you. So fully occupying the space that you're in. Fully occupy the space that you're in. And let the weight of the bones rest down on the protective earth beneath you. Knowing the earth to be not just a hard, flat surface that holds us up, but a living, growing, dynamic being, full of life, full of history, full of our ancestry. It's a very strong ancestral connection that we have to the earth beneath us. And it's through the earth that we're connected to everything that's ever passed. And everything that is to be. So bring the awareness to the space just behind the breastbone now, and take a few breaths here. Moving into this practice of Yoga Nidra, this deep relaxation, this exploration of your deep consciousness. Breathing here into this space. And making the body receptive to the breath. And now take your awareness to the right hand thumb. And just notice the sensation of the thumb. Take your awareness to the second finger of the right hand, the third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger, the palm of the hand, back of the hand, and then bring your awareness into your wrist and then your forearm, your elbow, your upper arm, and the right shoulder, armpits, chest, the right ribs and the spaces in between the ribs, the right waist and hip, the right buttock and the thigh, and the right knee and the lower leg, the ankle, the heel, the sole of the foot, the top of the foot, the right big toe, and then the second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and fifth toe. Let's move the awareness to the left side and bring your attention to the left hand thumb. You don't need to think about the thumb, just be aware of it. And then the second finger of the left hand, and then the third, fourth, and fifth fingers. The palm of the hand and the back of the hand, the wrist, the forearm, elbow, upper arm, the left shoulder and armpit, the left chest and the ribs, the spaces in between the ribs, the waist, the hip, the buttock, the thigh, the left knee and the lower leg, ankle, the heel, the sole of the foot and the top of the foot, the left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe and fifth toe. Become aware of the back of your head and the backs of the shoulders, upper back, middle back, lower back, the whole of the back. Imagine that you can breathe through the skin on your back. And then bring your awareness to the crown of your head. And then into the forehead and the right eyebrow and left eyebrow, the right eye and the left eye, the right cheek and the left cheek, the right ear, the left ear, the nose, tip of the nose, the right nostril, left nostril, the upper lip and the lower lip, the upper row of teeth and the lower row of teeth, jaw and the chin, the neck and the throat. Imagine that you can breathe through the skin of the head and the face and the neck. Open your awareness out through all the pores. And then bring your awareness to your chest, ribs, abdomen, lower abdomen, the inner body, all the internal organs. Imagine you can breathe through the skin on the front of the body. opening out to the sky through the breath. And now become aware of the whole of the right leg, the whole of the left leg, the whole of the right arm, the whole of the left arm, the whole of the torso, the whole of the head, the whole body as one conscious breathing being. Become aware once more of your skin that covers the whole body, and imagine what it would be like if you could breathe through your skin. When you inhale through every pore, and when you exhale through every pore. Now, if you have a sankalpa or an affirmation or intention that you like to use, state your intention or your affirmation 3 times using the same language each time. If you're not sure what to say, you could say, I am home. Now become aware of the outside of the skin, perhaps the feeling of clothing on the skin, the touch of air, sensations, maybe tingling. And then expand your awareness out a little bit more to the energy field that you occupy outside the skin. How far does that go? Where do you really end? Visualize the room around you and yourself in the room. And then begin to very gently deepen your breath as we come towards the end of this practice. And when it feels like the right time, then very gently begin to move the fingers, toes, Maybe rolling over onto one side when you feel ready to, just moving ever so slowly, gently, with great care and kindness. Bring yourself all the way up to seated